Wherever you put it. There you go.
All right.
Recording.
Hey, I got a meeting notice saying it's recording.
Perfect.
Thank you. Nice job, Wally. All right, we might as well start this meeting. Welcome to the Charter Review Committee meeting on Thursday. I want an adjustment to the agenda. Wrong day up there. 9/14/23. 3 p.m. the town manager's office. I guess we all know each other. No sense for introductions. Roll call. Wally.
Here, present.
Sandy.
Is here and Louis is here, and we've been left high and dry by the rest of the committee.
Right.
But anyway, I sent out an agenda. You've got that, and I figured we can go through each item and discuss them. The first one, I wish Brad was here. He's taking minutes, but you questioned, would the committee consider adding school board member or superintendent in the nomination of a replacement for a board member? And in our discussion, we had a meeting on the 6th, so we discussed these questions.
Okay.
And what we came down to was from legal, which on a similar situation, that would not be possible because anybody that's under the authority of the board can't really be part of the decision making or input as to who will sit on the board.
Okay.
You know, it's like hiring your own boss.
Yeah.
You know, and then they might owe you a raise or something, right?
Right.
So that's a definite no on that one.
Okay.
For legal reasons.
And how can I question the second part there? Like, so I guess I pretty much assumed that was a no, and actually for the same reason. But how about for a process? Like, even if you don't like write it into anything for the charter, is there a process?
No.
Okay.
Well, in the charter,
Yeah.
it states that the council will appoint.
Right.
And that's the process.
That's the process.
And what we do is a matter of how to do it. Pretty much the things you mentioned, we look at the past people that got voted on.
Right.
And we might solicit somebody, but you know, typically it's the other way around. You're really looking for people to come. You know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I just was thinking, and I have very limited experience here, but last year there were like 4 people, 2 people.
Well, there was 2 in one shot.
Right.
And then there was another one I believe after that.
I was just thinking of when Mr. Libby joined us, there was the conversations that happened at the school library. So I just wondered if part of the process would be to reach out to people who expressed interest prior to that moment when somebody needed to be, appointed. And I mean, it's fine. Clearly it's fine. I just wondered what the process was.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we did go by people that had been on the ballot.
Yeah, sure. It kind of makes sense because they've expressed interest.
Yeah. Showing the initiative. Okay, so the next one was C19-405A. The additional language in blue seems appropriate, as that is what we did this year. When I'm unsure about the process in the past, this seems reasonable. Each time we had a new version to be considered by school board, it was sent to the council. I'm thinking this is what you're talking about. Let's look at that. 19-405. Preparation of the budget and that. Yeah. I think the point that we were trying to get to was to have the draft version available prior to workshop meetings so that people who would most of these meetings, you have public input is requested at the beginning of the meeting. So not having had the draft copy of the workshop of the budget, when you get to the workshop, you have no way of questioning anything.
Okay.
You have no background information. And so it's changed a little bit.
Actually, workshops are handled different than the regular meeting.
I
They
understand.
allow the back and forth.
Oh, so that does happen.
It does happen, yes.
And
The public is,
Yes, and of
Encouraged.
course, the chair could,
Okay.
you know, they're.
and all the more reason for them to have had the draft copy way before they get to the meeting, if they want to study and if they have a particular bend on a particular department or this or that, they get to see what's happening in the budget right there.
my only hesitation there is that we're working on them so constantly, you know, like literally moments before it was time for a workshop, we sometimes had that last draft. Maybe to accommodate view on them before, I announce that, you know, this was literally finished 10 minutes ago, because that really happens, and offer 15 minutes or something to peruse them before we start going into them, because your point is valid. It's just there's
Gonna be changes and that's
so
the
much
whole
time.
idea of anybody who works with budgets or any process. Because a draft, you know, it's not the bottom line, so.
Yeah.
So, you know, if they have a question and say, well, that's changed.
Right, right.
Stop them in their tracks. Having the draft so they can get an overall view of where it's heading and if they want to drill down, they do.
No, that's
So you don't have any problems with that?
I don't, because we make every effort to make sure you have.
Matt is not here. Is Matt
Yeah,
online?
we can't bring up his. copy.
Matt's in the waiting room
Oh, good.
because didn't we put
Go right up to the.
a time on it?
Oh,
I think you can move that box to.
what happened to him?
I think he's
That's
behind his
too unusual.
connecting.
That's unusual. You there, Matt?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Can't see you, but that's okay, I guess.
I have very limited reception at the moment.
Oh, okay. We've just gone through, if you have your agenda with you. And, you know,
Matt, on 405, when we went over that last week, did we put any time frame to
Yeah.
this?
we don't have your copy up on the screen here.
405, remind me, which section is that?
The draft of the budget.
C19,
No,
405.
we did not have it. Well, we wanted to have everything done this week. Assuming that the only two
Can we add,
was the
do you have,
Go
do
ahead, Louis.
you have the copy in front of you?
I don't at the moment. I do not. I can send it to you or I can send it to you.
Yeah, well, I'm not too swift on this technology here to bring it up to look at. I mean, if you could, that would be nice. You could read
Okay,
it.
give me just 1 second.
Yeah, just read,
I might give me just 1 second.
If
Alrighty.
if I'm not mistaken, I thought we had said that we were requesting before the initial draft came out that
Well,
a week or something
he
that
reads, he
we would.
reads it. There was something about a time.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, we added a couple of words regarding timing that we want to make sure everyone's aware of. Really not too many items to go through here. We should be all right.
No, I apologize. I had an emergency and I needed to be where I am today, or else I would be there.
Well, you're close enough.
Okay, you said 4:05, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
A, 405A, we were talking about timing of the draft budget being available. Can you read that?
Okay,
section?
the school board will have all the powers conferred and will perform all duties imposed by the law upon superintending schools committees in regards to the care and management of the public schools of the town of Millinocket, except as otherwise provided in the charter. All of that has stayed the same other than grammar changes. The part that has changed is the next sentence. The school board will prepare budget estimates in detail of the several sums required during the ensuing budget year of the support of the public schools. A draft budget will be provided to the counselors and public prior to the school board budget workshops to be sent out with the public notice of workshop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there was no time. Okay, I
Well,
apologize.
the time would be that as soon as they send their notice out that they're having budget workshops, then they need to have the budget out to the public. That is the time frame.
Okay,
So is that, any problem with that? Okay, good, no issues. Let's move on to, page 20, 405B. The question you asked, was the table section means what? Are you looking for information from us? Would it make sense? Lonnie? This was our list of budget or reporting. And yes, that's exactly what we're asking for. These are dated, breakdowns of the budget, and we would like to have a similar breakdown, but something that fits more as would work with your, reporting.
Yeah, and that's what I wondered once I saw a table. So I don't know, like, when this was last reviewed.
Ever done?
Right,
I don't
right?
think I've ever.
30, 40 years ago.
Okay, so the list that I provided is the list that we've used, if you look back historically from Millinocket Schools budgets they prepared. If you follow this list that I gave you, that's what it is. So those are the budget areas that,
Let's right here.
The items
Yeah,
that you vote on.
it is.
For the
Okay, so
warrant article.
system administration, school administration, regular education, special education. So
some of it's just language change. Because you still
That's
have.
like the majority of it is just a language change.
Yes, because like you, for instance, administration is still there. Number 2 is instructional salaries, and that's clearly involved in there in student and staff support. It's in regular instruction. So you're still getting the information. It's just the
okay,
list I gave you is the order that we prepared the budget in, where this one, you're getting it, but it's not really aligned title wise.
so this would work for you then.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt, you'll be able to update that? It's
If
right
I
on-
get that list, yes.
So the list is right there on the agenda. In that
Perfect.
question. Okay,
So the statement that she sent me is the list.
yeah, well, system administration, school administration, regular instruction, special education, student staff support, other transportation. I mean, yeah, operation and maintenance. Facilities
Yeah,
maintenance.
that's a super easy fix.
Yeah, okay, good enough. And next item is page 21. Page 405E. Ah, it's a new one. You want to read it, Matt?
Okay, you said 405E.
Yeah, the one
Yes.
we created.
Still finding it. Give me just 1 second.
Yeah, and before you read, I'll read what the question was. Just looking for a bit of clarification. Is the intent of this to be that we notify the manager or town treasurer when we submit a grant, when we are awarded a grant, or when we do not win an award? This is about notification in order for the town to be prepared. If it is about notification, I agree. I think it goes a little bit more than notification.
Okay.
To just, the impetus, I think, was the ESSER grant. We had no inkling of the cash flow liability we would be taking on this side of the books. So in order to avoid that, we really would need to review after you created your document before you submit it. So we know, you know, whether we have a town share in there that we have to budget for, or whether, as in this case, the cash flow is going to be impacted by more than half of what we had. No, a lot more. Matter of fact, it was like 3 million. You know, we were carrying 3 million is what we were carrying for surplus. So tying up with cash flow kind of could stop the gears for a lot of other things happening on this side.
So there I would be concerned because to have you review the grants before they're submitted isn't really realistic because they're kind of an ebb and flow. We work on filling out the grants, we work with the department for corrections or edits, and there's a process back and forth, and then there's deadlines in order to submit them. Once we have substantial improvement of the grants, I mean, as far as like to share them with you, no problem. I mean, they're public.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, why don't you go ahead and read what we've got written on that?
Sure, I was trying to share it. I can't figure out how to do it, but E reads all filings of grants requiring cash flow encumbrance will require previous notification to the manager and town treasurer.
Yeah, and so that's why my question was if this is notification. And when we were actually talking with Mary Alice and Peter, I kind of thought we had ironed out a little bit of that really the town does need to know. I agree with that 100%. And
what he just read was his notification to the treasurer. That's so it's you want to read it again, Matt?
Matt, you're muted.
Okay, it reads, all filing of grants required cash flow encumbrance will require previous notification to the manager and town treasurer.
So it's just notification to two people.
yeah,
And just for
and
clarity,
that's fine.
sake,
Yeah.
all of this took place for side conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
So I don't have.
Just so you know, we can't hear Peter at all.
That's okay.
So
We can't see you either now, so.
we're still functioning, right? So I guess my only thing is if it is notification, I agree, and you can have access to the grants, particularly once they're all approved. The cash flow is of concern, I agree, and not having been here very long, but understanding or being told stories from problem. Once we get it cleared up, that problem should never exist again, particularly to the level that it has. It didn't need to. It's not the way the grants are regulated in general.
Figured that much out. With help. A lot of help. Okay, so that as written is not a problem. That's
It's written up there.
Yeah, I have it right here too. And I think as long as we agree that it's notification, then it's absolutely not a problem. Because we have no problem sharing.
that's all it says, previous notification to manager and town. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine then.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, should this document make it through in its same state, the additional stages that it will need to go through, which is an entirely different. But they have every right to take this as a recommendation and say, thank you very much, drop it in the trash can and start
And
over.
all the recommendation we're making is just, this is what we came up with. A new commission is gonna look at it and say, we don't wanna talk about what we did and start over. They can do that.
Oh, so
Right.
who's the new group that takes over next?
Nobody knows
That's
that
gonna
yet.
be a process
Has
where,
to be.
I think members are elected or something. Can't remember. But
From
it's-
town members? So your council puts it
Professionals.
together and then people,
It's
another?
described in the process of how to do it.
Yeah,
Oh.
it'll be an entirely
I know
different
that.
group of people, and some of them won't have anything to do with town hall.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, we agree.
Um,
We're good.
yeah, sure.
Yeah,
So
sure, right.
now the other piece of that I was going to mention is, you know, should that pass through the other,
That
you
process.
know,
Still gonna go to the voters.
it will likely last longer than you and I's presence here.
By the time it happens.
Well, by the time, so if it passes, this could be another 30 years before somebody looks at it again. So, you know, I might be here,
Oh, that's
you know, my contract's 5 years.
where,
We don't know what the future holds after that. We don't know how long you're gonna be around, but our, replacements, moving, you know,
we
this would be.
We are
to
including
know
it.
any-
are gonna, one of our last sections, the 700 section. What we're going to do there is, make a statement about when town documents have to be reviewed. Like every 5 years or every 10 years. And we,
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's one of the last pieces we want to work on because we don't want this to be looked at 30 years from now and there be issues.
yeah. It's like that list where the breakdown, you know, don't make no
Right.
sense, and haven't seen it and never will.
Right.
And the reason the grant funding, I believe, you know, I have right up to date with all of these meetings and conversations at the time, but I believe reason for the grant conversation to be included was IPS. Or
Yeah,
it was
we
the code
covered
funding. It was it was the once in a lifetime thing where so we
Yeah.
don't know if in 10 years. there will be
Somebody else
similar
makes a big
situation.
demand.
And managed properly, this should not happen. I mean,
No.
this is not the typical way that the grants operate. They're not. And Miss Casey, who's on there in the left-hand corner, is working diligently on them. Had to do some opening and writing and closing and submitting, and it just shouldn't happen. So if this is notification, I'm totally good with it,
Yeah.
because once we're cleaned up and fixed up, we're gonna stay cleaned up and fixed up.
So 508 is our next one, page 22. And yeah, okay, well, there's no disagreement there, so that's fine. You agree that's,
That's right, I do.
Wait, did you guys already talk about the piece about replacing a school board member?
yes, we did.
He gave me a flat no, Matt. He's not even gonna say anything.
Well, there's not much I can say.
That's okay. We're good.
She expected a no on that anyway.
We're good.
Okay, well, that's our last item. Next meeting is our 20th, and we'll be hopefully wrapping up these last few items. Oh, there was one
Yeah,
more.
now that this is cleared up, once we make the changes to the budget piece, the only thing we have left is the portion about adding when documents need to be reviewed, and then we're done.
Yeah, the 700, and then we can turn it over to the administration to get legal, go through it.
Has it been an interesting or valuable exercise that you folks have been
It
through?
has for me
Wow.
because I've never done anything like.
I
this
think it,
before.
it's an education and that maybe more members of the council or public should know about the charter, how, you know, the relationship, how it operates.
Great. Well, we appreciate being included when it comes to the part that, you know, directly relates to the school. So we appreciate the invitation and the sharing of material with us for input.
Well, I guess that's it. We guess those questions, we'll be able to wrap this up. Hopefully.
That was Good.
And you missed most of it.
See,
Great meeting.
you know, we're going. Follow Robert's rules of order. We are adjourned.
All right.
How you like that?
Night, everyone.
We'll see ya.
Really?
Yeah, how you making out? Wally?
What's that?
How you making out? You look a little sunburned.
Oh, no, just my ruddy Irish complexion. No, actually,
Hey,
I came
Scottish,
to town thinking the meeting
Wally,
was.
Scottish.
What's
Is
that?
that-
Yeah.
Scottish.
That liquid scotch?
Yeah. Well, when one grandmother's a Parlin and one grandmother's a Cochrane, you get some Irish in you too, so.
There you go.
You've got, your family is Parlins? From Maine?
What's
Parlins from Maine?
Yeah, there was a big clan of
Yeah,
Parlin.
my Aunt Kathleen married a Parlin. They've been in the Augusta, well, Vassalboro for.
Did you stop the recording?
Oh, yeah, all right, yeah, we'll stop the recording. Have a nice day. everybody.
Nice.